When I'm doing number 2, there's blood coming out.
Okay.
And then it's happening when I'm seeing my periods. I woke up I had pain on my shoulder and the breast. It was so painful, like, what's happening? There's no one working at home. Apart from that, I spoke about heavy bleedings. If I have to take my 350, ke zole, or if it's like 520, where do I get the pads?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jenny's with More. My name is Mabato Mutswane. You're most welcome. If it's your first time coming across our channel, kindly subscribe and like the video. And of course, if you want to come and be a guest in our channel, you are going to take the number that's popping up on your screen right now. And I'll also paste it on the description box so that whenever you feel like you want to get that number, you go there and get it. Write to us, tell us your story. Just heal someone, give someone hope, motivate someone. Just like today, I'm not alone. I'm with someone who's going to be educating, motivating, and giving hope as well. So, guys, do stay. And I'm going to give to my guest for her to introduce herself and tell us who she is. Over to you.
Hi, Sister Michelle. My name is Innocentia Purupero Rambao. I'm from Atteridgeville in Pretoria. I grew up in Atteridgeville and later moved on to Soshanguve. I'm still in Pretoria.
Okay.
So I'm now residing in Soshanguve. I'm from a family of 5, my parents and 2 brothers. I'm in the middle, and 2005, Mama passed on, and then I was left with Papa and my brothers. And then, we continued until Papa remarried Rabale Mani. Yes, so we're still a family of 5 again with my elder brother, my youngest brother. Yeah, that's me, that's Innocentia. I'm from Soshanguve. I have an organization for women. I call it Women of Worth. I started the organization in 2019, and I also have events management business whereby we do deco. Mainly I do deco for parties, your baby showers, your birthdays, weddings, whatever.
You're an all-rounder.
And I also bake. I bake beautiful cakes and delicious ones. Yeah, and I also bake. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. So I'm here to talk about my journey with endometriosis.
A very important journey, guys. I'll leave her number as well on the screen and on the description box, guys. Did you hear? She does everything. If you need her, there you have it. So take us through your journey. Take us through your journey. Tell us where it begins. Take us through it as it unfolds and where you at with your journey now.
Okay, I'm going to start. Normally, I'll be starting with the diagnosis, but then I'm going to start with when I was young, just like a little bit, because
Okay.
I believe it's been there. Because, like, when I was young, I started seeing my periods when I was 13. And then there was pain. And then sometimes the pain would be so extreme. I can't go to school. And they were heavy, and I bled for many days. And, back in those days, we used to have a subject called guidance. We were told, Hori, your periods are supposed to last for 4 days, but then mine went for 9, 15 days, and I
15?
didn't understand. Ne? So Mama takes me to see a GP.
Okay.
And then Mama comes back. They send me out. Mama comes back. When we get home, she sits me down. She tells me, Hori, you're going to take the injection. I did not understand why. Why am I taking the injection? Like, I don't even have a boyfriend, but then I was taken to take the prevention injection. I didn't understand why. And I took it for many years. And then, the pain ceased, the pain became better, but then the bleeding continued, the heavy bleedings, the days and everything. I remember we used to have these big bags, she'd always fill them with pads. She made sure I have pads, there's always a supply because it was bad. And then I'm seeing my periods like that. Yeah, time goes on. Sometimes I remember I used to get sick, have a pain in my leg. The pain was bad because I had to see a doctor for that as well. The pain.
Can I ask you
yes.
something? Is this pain related to comes
Yes.
during the time of the period?
During the time of the period, yes. But then by then I did not notice. I'll tell you when I start taking notice, like like looking at things to see these things are related and everything. By then I didn't notice everything because remember I'm bleeding for many days. It's more like I'm always bleeding, so the pain just comes and goes, you see.
You're not sure what's
Yeah, so
happening.
I'm not sure. So the pain would shoot right from my bum inside, like I'd feel like maybe it feels like it's in the bone, shoot straight until under the feet, like, and then sometimes I can't walk. I go to the doctor, they tell me it's nerves. They give you painkillers, they give you antibiotics.
They say it's nerves.
Yeah, and then they send you back home.
That's a
And
GP.
then you start feeling better. It's okay. That went on for years. And then I remember in 2007 now, I'm an adult, I'm working. 2007, this other period comes. Oh, before 2007, I was not falling pregnant and I did not know why. But then it didn't matter for me because I'm still building my career. I'm growing up,
you're
you know.
busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. I want to have that, you know, that
Stable.
picture that they painted in my head that when you grow up, you're going to have your own house. Like I'm busy working on myself, so I'm not concentrating on babies. So it didn't matter to me. And then 2007, I have these pains. These pains, they
How
are bad.
old are you? How old are you then? When you start?
2007.
Well, okay, don't tell your
Yeah.
age. I always say my guests should not tell their age. Do not. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I'm grown now. I'm working. It's after varsity and everything. So I have these pains. The pains that they do not go away. They last for 2 weeks.
Even after you done with your
I'm
period?
not seeing the period is not coming now.
Oh.
But then I'm in pain. I thought it's the pain before the periods. But then now the period is not coming. And then I remember I was staying in Nelspruit. I was working in Nelspruit. And then the lady where I was staying, Master Nurse says, no, you are in a lot of pain. Let me take you to my gynae. Let's go see a gynae. I went with her to see the gynae. And the gynae said to me, you are pregnant. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you are 8 weeks pregnant. But then he was worried, why am I in pain? Didn't you know you're pregnant? No, I didn't know. Why are you in pain? We didn't know. We took tests and everything. And then I think the same day or the next morning, they called me to come back in. I don't know what test they took or whatever. And then he does the sonar again and he says there's no heartbeat because the test showed that there was a problem. So apparently the fetus stopped growing. That's when the pain started. So it was not growing anymore. So we have to take you in, clean you in. They considered it as a miscarriage. So I went, they cleaned it up. And remember, before the miscarriage, I was seeing my periods for many days. So after the operation, after the surgery, my period does not come. For 4 months, I go back to the gynae. I do not have my period. And he said, no, it's because we cleaned you up, it will come. So I relaxed. Remember, he's a doctor, he's telling me. I relaxed. And then after that, after 4 months, the period comes, but then it comes one day. The following month, it's one day. I go back again. My period is back, but then now it comes once, one day in a month. And he tells me, but you used to complain to say you're getting your period for many days. Now it's coming one day, you're complaining. You are normal. There's nothing wrong with you. They took tests, you are okay. I went back home. It was like that for a very long time.
It comes once.
One day.
One day, yeah.
And then at some point, I started to have pains, and I did not understand what the pains were about until one morning, November 2016. The pains were just so severe. I couldn't move out of bed. I couldn't turn. They had to help me to turn and everything. And I'm having my period. And I'm like, what's happening? I thought maybe it's a miscarriage. What's happening? Because it was bad. We went to see a doctor. The doctor said, no, you must rush to hospital. This is serious. I got to hospital. I asked them. They said, no, but then you are not pregnant. They put you on drips for pain. The pain gets better. And then the lady there said, I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. She said, I have cysts, but then they are too many. There's a lot of cysts. She says, you need to see a gynecologist. So in the very same hospital, remember, I'm from the doctor, I just went through casualty. The doctor at casualty wrote me a letter to see a gynecologist in that very same hospital. Then I see the doctor. The doctor says, you do have PCOS, but then I suspect there's something more. I'm going to refer you to another doctor. And I said, what kind of specialist? He said, he's also a gynecologist, but then he specializes with something called endometriosis.
Okay.
Can't you help me because you're also a gynecologist? No, there are gynecologists who specializes with this thing.
Okay.
I didn't know. Okay, when am I going to see him? And then we call. I'm with the doctor. We call. He wants to make an appointment for me. They tell him they are full. There's space for me next year in October. They can see me in October. By then, did it matter to me? So, no, I'll wait. I'll see him. Remember, they gave me the drugs. The pain is
You
gone.
feel better.
Yeah, I feel better. So, it was like that. I had to wait until October next year. But then each and every month, it was the same story. I was in hospital each and every month. Sometimes my period would come like it was now bad. Sometimes I collapse. Sometimes it's vomiting. Sometimes I'm in pain. And then when I wake up, I'm in hospital. Twice I overdosed on painkillers. Not intentionally because I'm in pain. I'm taking painkillers. The pain is not going away. I'm taking more. I take more. And then the next thing I wake up and I'm in hospital and I'm like, what's happening? You overdosed 2 times. And then I wait. I see the doctor in October 2017. He tells me, no, we'll take you for surgery. He booked me for surgery. When I come back from surgery, he said to me, oh, when I remember, when I came back from surgery, I was in pain. I was in so much pain. I remember I was crying, asking my brother, you have to get me something. There's a kiosk down there, a cafe, like, go get me something. And he was like, I cannot give you anything. And I'm telling the nurses, I'm in pain. I'm from surgery, I'm in pain. But then, the nurses, they depend on it's the doctor who writes the script. They give you whatever that he says. They can't give you anything more. And then the lady was telling me, no, we have to give you at a certain time. But then I'm still in pain. Why am I in pain? And it was severe. It was like...
Can I come in and ask you something? The pain, is it like period pains?
My tummy, I had something like cramps. But then they were constant. They were not coming and going. No, they were constant. And then it's after surgery, remember, I'm lying in bed. And then the doctor came. They called him. They told him she woke up, but then she's crying. She's in pain. He asked me, why are you in pain? You're not supposed to be in pain. I don't know why am I in pain. And then it was traumatizing because it was a lot of pain. So after that, I realized he told me, I think they forgot to give me some injection or something. I don't know what happened. And then I left. When I came back to see him, after you are discharged, you come back for follow-up. He tells me, Innocentia, you do have endometriosis, and unfortunately, it's on stage 4 already. And like you're looking at me, I'm looking at him like that, like...
Yeah,
no expression
it's
because
at
like
stage 4.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's talking about. But then he was sad.
I want to
and
ask
he
you.
said, I'm sorry.
Can I ask you first? Let's glue up our viewers. What's that? Number 1, what is that? Because Nami, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then stage 4, is it cancer? Just explain to us what that is.
Okay, endometriosis is not a cancer. It's a condition whereby your uterus has a tissue lining the uterus inside. The tissue is called the endometrial tissue. So with endometriosis, that tissue now starts to grow outside the uterus, meaning it's no longer, it's growing inside the uterus, but then it's also growing outside the uterus. So during your time of your period, the endometrial tissue shreds, but then now because yours is also growing outside, it means when you're having your period, it's starting to bleed on the inside and it's trapped inside the body. It does not grow out. And then it's trapped. Remember, I'm seeing my period each and every month, meaning there's a build up each and every month. And then endometriosis has 4 stages. And something that I forgot to mention is that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical profession. I'm sharing my story
Yeah.
to bring awareness.
Thank you for that.
Yes, I'm sharing my story to bring awareness. So it does have 4 stages, but then it's not a cancer. With stage 1 being, it's whereby they're saying you've got minimum lesions like the spores, they are just minimal, and then they keep on growing until it gets to stage 4. And then the other thing that I picked up is that it does not mean that when you are at stage 4, your pain will be more than the person at stage 1.
Okay.
They could diagnose somebody at stage 2, but you find that the pain is severe than the person at stage 4, you see. So when he said that, for me, it did not register anything because it does not mean anything. I don't know what's endometriosis. I don't know what's happening. And then we've had the surgery. I'm thinking, we're
You'll be
done.
fine.
I'm okay. But then he said, no, after the surgery, let's see if you can fall pregnant. And then by then, I'm not having any issue with infertility. I'm not even thinking about babies. So, yeah, it came like that. And then that was the diagnosis. That's how I was diagnosed. And then I never fell pregnant even after that. We tried, and then he said that was one of the other symptoms of endometriosis. It causes infertility. So I tell him, but then, at first I used to go to gynaes asking, why am I not falling pregnant and everything? And everybody kept on saying, I'm okay. It's because, remember that doctor who said to me, there are gynecologists who specializes with this thing. So the other ones, they checked whatever they were checking and everything was fine. They did not pick up the endometriosis. Kante, by then it's busy building up.
So you were misdiagnosed for the longest time.
I was misdiagnosed. And then only to find out later, even the leg pain is part of the endometriosis. The heavy bleeding is a sign and symptom, which I cannot say they put it aside, but then I feel they treated the symptom rather than looking at the root of what might be causing all of these things.
Yes.
And then I was going to one doctor, but then I believe they do have many patients, so I cannot say, why didn't she put everything together? Because remember, you're going there on different times. It's not at the same time. So yeah, I get diagnosed, but then I stayed away from the doctor after that because I was traumatized after the surgery. I was so scared. And then after some time, the pain started again. And I'm like, the first period after the surgery, it was so bad. I thought after the surgery, I'm
going to be
done.
better,
I thought we're done, like it's gone. I thought it's gone because I don't know what's endometriosis, what's causing it, what's happening. I thought it's gone. So after the surgery, the first period comes, it's bad. And then I was back again to that in and out of hospital. Some periods I can handle, some months I cannot handle, some months I'm in hospital. And then until one morning in 2018, it was on a Sunday, I wake up, I want to use the bathroom, I can feel that I'm pressed, I want to urinate, the urine doesn't come out. I tried the urine, but then I'm pressed, like I have the edge, it's not coming out. Sometimes they'll say, open the tablet, like when the water is running, it will
come out.
Didn't come out. I took a shower, sat in the bath, it doesn't come out. And then luckily I have this friend of mine who's a doctor. I called her. This is what's happening. What's wrong? She said, hospital. Go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I got there. They drained 880 mils of urine. They took it out using pipes. And then the doctor at casualty, she was also frightened. She's like, your uterus, it looks bad. But then what? But does my uterus have to do with this? I came here because of the urine. So she said to me, it's endometriosis. Do you know you have endometriosis? And I told her, I was told 2 years back. And then what? And then nothing. I went for surgery and then I'm continuing. She said, no, but then it's bad now. It's very bad. I'm going to refer you. It was in December, November 2017. It was in December. And then she calls another doctor, another specialist, not that one, also in Pretoria. She calls that doctor to say, I have a patient here. can you assist us? This case is bad. And then that doctor, during December, he said he's on holidays. He can only see me in January. But then fortunately, he put the appointment first, like he gave me priority, but then the festive was not nice. It was bad. But then my family came in, my brothers, I remember they were at my place. They spent their holidays with me, but then I was in pain. And then, January, I went to see him, and he says, like, it's bad. It's endometriosis stage 4, and then it's everywhere. The reason you couldn't urinate is that now your fallopian tubes, your ovaries, uterus, and bladder, they formed a ball. Everything is stuck together because of that blood. Everything is stuck together. So the pipes, that's why the urine couldn't come out. That's why you couldn't urinate. It's bad. It's now spread into your bladder. So I had to go for another surgery to come. But then this one was not so bad because the difference there, I don't know, they kept on asking me about the pain, even when you are in the ward, how's the pain, And then, that was my diagnosis with endometriosis. And then ever since, I've had 9 surgeries to date with endometriosis.
9?
Yes. I've had 9.
So this one that you're talking about, the surgery, was the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, now when you go to surgery, what are they doing? Are they removing?
They're cleaning it up, but then remember that you're seeing your period each and every month. It's still building up. They clean.
Whenever you see your period, it builds up.
Yeah, that tissue builds up. The tissue grows, and it depends where it is. But then the problem with endometriosis now is that now it's not only growing outside the uterus. It can grow inside your bowel. It can grow as far as the lungs. Like it just spreads.
Sure.
It just spreads.
It is bad, Mos.
It is bad. And then, I continued with that. And then at some point, I could feel something very warm coming out. I thought it's my period. And then I go to the bathroom. There's nothing. There's no blood. It's something like water. It was coming out. I went to see him. There was a cyst. He did cyst aspirations 3 times, like 3 years, like consecutive years. Like he drained that cyst. It kept on growing. He drained it, growing. I don't know why it was growing until at some point I'm continuing. I know I've got endometriosis. Some months are better, some months are bad. And then now you start to accept the pain, but then it's affecting everything. It's affecting
Your daily
work.
life, yeah.
It's affecting work because at work there's certain things you cannot do. And not everybody's going to understand. Yeah, there'll be talks. You'll hear some remarks. We are also women. You cannot be crying because of period pain. And you're thinking, because at some point I did not understand when that first period, that very excruciating one in 2016, I was like, I've had periods before. What's different? So somebody will say, when you are crying at your age, bana ba etseng, what about the younger ones? You cannot be crying. And then you'll be hearing people saying like, period pain,
Lack of understanding.
yeah, because we do not know, And in our communities, what I've realized is that people normalize period pain. I'm having cases now because I'm doing awareness campaigns in my community whereby people will come to me and you'll hear a young child saying, Mama won't go when I'm in pain, when I tell her I've got period pains. It's because we've got that thing, because you are a woman. It happens.
It comes with it. Being
only
a woman
to
comes with period
find
pains.
that there can be a root cause, there can be an underlying issue, there could be a problem. So comes 2023, I start bleeding. I start having rectal bleeding.
What?
When I'm doing number 2, there's blood coming out.
Okay.
And then it's happening when I'm seeing my periods. And then I went to see the doctor. They gave me something, it stopped. It comes back again. When it comes back again, it comes during the period. And then remember you're seeing your period and then you're supposed to ovulate after 14 days. So now it's no longer coming only during the periods, it's coming during the periods and during ovulation. It comes twice. Whenever I want to go to the bathroom, it's blood outside at the back there. So I tell him, and remember each time you go see a doctor, you pay, ne? So sometimes you'll see him, he gives you a solution this month, next month it happens, you do not go because
every time.
And then until eventually it's no longer twice a month, it's coming like each and every day. What happened is that 2023, we had a funeral go high, my grandma passed. That's another thing. Stress can trigger a flare up, can trigger, like, sometimes they'll tell us, don't stress, but then, with life, And then my grandma passes, she passed on the beginning of the month, and then I'm bleeding rectally each and every day. I go to see a doctor. I tell him, and then he says to me, but then he doesn't deal with that problem. Have you considered IVF? No, there's so-and-so who can assist you. Go see. This one is also a specialist. I'm desperate, ne? I can do anything. I go to that one. I do have my own doctor, but they sent me to another one. I went, and that lady said, no, we can start with IVF. We can start today. But then number one is the rectal bleeding. Number two, that cyst that they kept on draining. I can now feel it when I touch my tummy. I can feel it from the outside. So I went there. I'm telling her there's something growing inside, and I can feel it on the inside. But then she wants to continue with IVF. I'm worried about this thing. It was during that time of load shedding. And then when I'm done with her, that day, I don't know if I still have enough time.
You have more than enough time.
That day, it's funny. I call her. Remember, I went to see that one who referred me to her. Ne? I call her. They give me an appointment for 10 o'clock. You'll see these things. And then they call me just around 9 to say she's still busy in theater. Let's make it 12. Can you make it 12? I took a day off and I said, no, it's fine. I'll make it at 12. They call me again. Let's push the appointment to 2 o'clock. 1:30, they call me. I'm walking down the corridor. They said, no, can't you postpone? I told them I'm already here. I'm just walking inside.
So they want to cancel altogether for that
day? I got in there. I waited for her until around 4. I told them I cannot go back. My condition is bad. I'm in pain. And I took a day off. I cannot afford to take another day at work. So I see her around 4. I remember load shedding the lights. I think they were going at 7. After I see her, she says, no, let's start with the IVF and everything. What about this thing? No, we're going to remove it after your age and everything. You're growing. You must have a baby. It's fine. I go home. Oh, I didn't go home. I'm thinking, let me hang around in the mall so that the lights can go. And then when we're about to come back, I'll go home. What am I going to do at home? And then I stick around. Only when around 8, I go back home. When I get home, there's light. I can see light through the windows. And I'm like, what's happening? Because I left during the day. When we went inside, from the gate, there's water coming out the gate, like the water is coming out from the kitchen door. From the kitchen door, what happened? And then I'm looking, what happened? The water is ash, like it's black. Ash, the house bent inside.
Bent?
I don't know what happened.
So, okay, your house is on fire. You found it
No, it's not on fire. If you late the middle. What happened is that we've got these solar geysers, ne? So the pipes, I think they go through the ceiling. So and then that fire burns the ceiling, it burns the pipes, the water, dim. The neighbors didn't see anything. Nobody's like inside, the structure is still intact, like still standing. Okay. Everything, that's another stress.
Sure.
The house burns. I'm running a business inside. I'm baking. Everything is burnt.
Sure.
And then now it's fine. I call my doctor. Okay, fine. Now I forget about the IVF and everything. I'm focusing on the house. But then I think it's because of that stress. The rectal bleeding is becoming worse. Now I cannot even eat. Whatever I put inside my mouth, there's pain. I have to rush to the bathroom. When I go to the bathroom, and there was a smell. That smell, I don't forget it because I felt like this is the end. If already one like this has to be serious. So I go to my doctor, the one who helped me, ne? And then I tell him this is the situation, and then he says we're going for surgery. Oh, before I go to him, I went in through casualty, but I told them I'm going to this specific hospital because that's where my doctor is. The doctor at casualty was so scared. She's like, do you go to the bathroom? And I told her, when I go to the bathroom, it's only blood that's coming out. And then they did x-rays on my bowels. She says, it's packed on your right side. That's where most pain is. And she was so scared. She looked scared, like terrified. And then I told her,
I'm
what
also
does it?
scared. The way you are
She said-
explaining it.
Yeah, she said
Sounds-
there was a blockage in my bowel. So it's like the feces were piling up. So that's why now am I bleeding. And then I'm wondering how many months have I been bleeding. So she says, but your medical aid is not going to pay for everything. And I'm like, no, usually when I come here, there's a co-payment. I can handle that one. She said, this one is too much. Why? Why is this one different? Because I've always been using this one, been coming here. And then she says, let me write a note to your doctor. We cannot even admit you. They gave me pain medication. I left with an envelope to take to my doctor. I called the offices. They said, come in the morning. I went in the morning. In the morning, I showed him, and then he says, you need surgery, but then there's going to be co-payments. There's changes in your medical aids and everything. I think it's some things that maybe we take for granted. Like, there'll be communication, and then, how much am I looking at? Around 72,000. By that time, I'm fixing the house. With the house, yes, there was insurance, but then they do not cover everything. Remember, there was the business, like I had.
Everything stops.
Yeah, everything stopped. Now I have to look at this one at the doctors. And then I'm wondering, I'm mentioning this because I want you to picture someone without a medical aid. If you have to pay that much with a medical aid, imagine someone who doesn't have. They do have these facilities at the public hospitals, but then the waiting periods, they are long. You are in pain every day. You can wait for long.
So you have to wait before you get the surgery?
Yeah. So, okay, this one, we raised the money. I managed to raise the money. I go for surgery. And then he comes back and he said, the endometriosis, now what it did, from the right side, it grew and it pulled the bowel from the left. So it was twisted. That's why each and every time, like there was a time when whatever I put in my mouth, I don't know how these things are connected. I put something in my mouth, I need to go to the bathroom. The bathroom, pain and everything. I'm crying like, it's painful. Urination is painful. So that was it. And then he said the endometriosis was growing inside your bowel. It had pulled that bowel, so it was now penetrating. But then we did clean, but then he said to me, it was a very, very bad, it was a very long operation because this one now, remember I said they could manage my pain with the surgeries. This one was painful.
To manage the pain.
Yo. After that one, I think it's because of the bowel. Like that one was so severe. It was painful. And okay, I went back home and I had to stay at home for 6 weeks, not doing anything. They told me, take it easy. You have to rest and everything. Normally what they do after surgery, they'll put a bag, a plastic that's draining the blood, the dirty blood and everything. And then you'll have to go to remove that bag. This time they put 2. He said like it was bad. I was sitting with these 2 bags hanging down. So fine, I go back to work. When I go back to work, after some time, the period comes. There's rectal bleeding again. I called the offices. And then they said, no, we'll send you a script to stop the bleeding. And then I tell them, I've heard there's a pill called Vicen. Can't I take that pill? The lady I spoke to asked me, are you not on that pill? You never gave me that pill. Who was supposed to give me that pill? I've heard about that pill in support groups. I've read about that pill. I was not given that pill.
Why though?
They wrote me that pill. I tell you, I'm sitting here today now like this because of that pill ever since that day. A pill that nobody
Why though?
prescribed.
The question is why? Why
I
did they
felt
never
it's
think about it?
useless to ask why. Like, I was tired emotionally. I'm trained physically. I'm trained asking all these questions whereby I'm not going to get answers. Like, it didn't make a difference for me. Like, there was no point. Like, I'm tired. At some point, you feel defeated. There's many times where I wanted to give up, and you just tell yourself, I'll handle this one, So they gave me that pill, fine, sharp. And then I've been drinking, I've been on that pill. And then I've been doing awareness campaigns in my community. Why am I doing awareness campaigns? I feel like it affected my life so badly. The relationships, the friendships, like social life.
Yeah.
We'd make plans, you and I. I'm sitting with you like this, like today. Tomorrow I tell you I cannot come, I'm in pain. And not everybody understands. And it's not only happening to me, it's happening to the majority of us. Stats says endometriosis affects 1 in 10 women. So I asked myself, how many women are there? And
Some don't even know what's happening to them.
people are misdiagnosed. People, you go to, because a part of me don't blame the health professionals, because when I get there, where are you feeling pain? There's pain in my uterus. They put you on drips. Is the pain gone? It's gone.
Done.
That's what you came complaining about. And remember, you're not the only patient there. There's a whole lot of people. And then when you're going to see the doctors, there was no time to explain to me what is endometriosis. Follow, this is what endometriosis is doing to your body and everything. I didn't have time to ask the right questions. Why? There's a queue. There are patients just like me waiting, and then they allocate you. Like they're
My
done with
doctor
you.
always says, do not go to a GP if you are sick. Come to the hospital. And I believe them now, because at the hospital, that's where you're going to get all the, where I go now at the hospital, they draw bloods before they
Yes.
can even give you Panado.
Yeah.
So you see, with a GP, there's no such a thing.
There's no such a thing. Yeah, and then you're right. You're right about that. I don't know, can I talk about the awareness campaigns and share? Yeah.
We still have a lot of time.
Okay. With the awareness campaigns, what we do events each and every year in March. We host them in March. We've only been doing them in Pretoria for now. And then why? Because March is World Endometriosis Awareness Month. This thing, when I started sharing my story, talking to people started coming out. People started contacting me to say, Follow, I have the same symptoms, I have the same problem. Sometimes its parents would say to me, my daughter is going through the same thing. How can you help us? And I'll tell them, I don't have help, but then I do have advice. I can just refer you to the right people, That's all I do. So we do host events whereby I'll be sharing my story, telling them the signs and symptoms, what to look at, what to look out for. And then the most important thing is not to diagnose yourself.
Yeah.
Don't diagnose yourself. It's okay to write down the signs and symptoms, but then still go to see a doctor. And then another challenge in our communities, you go to the clinic. The other time, this year, around August, I woke up I had pain on my shoulder and the breast. It was so painful, like, what's happening? And then, because I'm doing awareness campaigns, health awareness campaigns, I'm thinking breast pain, I need to rush, because unfortunately last year I had to bury a cousin from breast cancer. So it was just a horrible time,
about
Yeah,
that.
so I'm thinking, the breast, I'm going to the clinic. I'm thinking, like, let me just go. There's a private clinic around the corner. I go there. The ladies there, the nurses who are taking your BP and everything, they ask me, have you had operations? And I say, no, it's only been like laparoscopies. They ask me, what is a laparoscopy? And sometimes when I share this, people laugh and I say, it's not a joke, it's painful. Because if they are health workers, they are helping people. If they do not know, imagine your child coming with the symptoms of
I was
endometriosis
about
and
to
they
ask
do
you, are
not
they
know.
asking you because they don't know? Are they asking you because they want to know if you know?
I don't know.
You?
But then how are they helping our kids? And then do we blame them or do we blame the system? Who's teaching them? Because at any workplace, even here, there's a routine, you know what you're doing and then you leave. But then if this thing is not taken seriously, whereby it can affect your life, it can affect your day-to-day, you're living in pain, you can lose your job. Imagine a child at school. Or imagine growing up to being told you can never carry kids.
Yo.
Because you've been diagnosed since you were a teenager.
Someone has been ignorant.
Yeah, imagine, and then you also do not know, but then they also do not know. And then it's painful. For me, I felt like it's a problem that needed to be addressed. So whenever we're doing these things, now I do invite the clinics, I do invite some of the matrons, to say, come and listen. I know sometimes they read the books and everything, they know the science part of it, but then sometimes a story makes sense. You understand I'm living with endometriosis as we speak now. They're saying there's no cure. So I'm sitting here, I'm living with endometriosis.
So there's no cure for this?
There's no cure.
Okay, can I ask you before we continue? Now you are on a pill that's helping you and it's really helping you. You're like getting back to your normal self. No more bleeding, nothing.
No more rectal bleeding. The pain, whenever it comes, it's something that I can manage.
Okay.
It's something that I can take a pin and goes. And I'm talking about something that can come maybe once in 3 months, 4 months. For me, that's a win.
Yeah.
And then another thing, I saw the pill. I did say that I saw about the pill in a support group. I joined a lot of because I was not getting help. It was many years, a lot of years, and then I'm not getting help. I had to see how can I help myself. So I joined support groups, be it in Facebook and everything. I just typed endometriosis. I followed, I joined, and then I met other women living with endometriosis there online, and then TikTok, there's stories, like there's videos you can see. Or the other ones, they'll tell you how I handle the flare-ups and everything. That's where I saw the Vicen. When I read about the Vicen, many of the ladies, they were complaining about the side effects
Of the pill.
Because at first, before they put me on Vicen, they put me on Clara. There's another one called Clara. It was also bad. It didn't work for me because, once you're taking the pill, you're thinking, the next period, I'll be fine.
And you condition
and then
yourself.
it comes, then you're calling at work again. I cannot come again.
Sure.
So, Clara did not work for me. And then with Vicen, what happened is that a lot of ladies, they were complaining about the side effects. I told myself, I'm going to try this. I'm going to withstand the side effects and see if this works. Because for me, that pain, compared to the side effects, I'd rather choose the side effects.
You've
Like
been
I
through
had
a
to
lot.
choose. And then it was I couldn't sleep, like you'd wake up at night, like you see. So I decided, because I was taking the pill at night, let me take it during the day. You take it once a day, the same time.
So the side effects would be not sleeping.
Yeah, sometimes.
But that's nothing compared to the pain.
Yeah, no, but then the problem is that during the day I have to work, I'm tired. Now it's the headaches. I had headaches. And then at first it was diarrhea and then the weight gain. I've seen someone who said, I follow, I cannot, I've gained weight. I don't want to lie. People meet me and they say, follow, and I'm like, I'd rather.
I don't want the pain.
I don't want the pain, So that was that with Vicen, but then I decided, let me stick out with it. So I learned a lot from the support groups. I learned a lot from the ladies, but then at some point I had to leave the groups I think it was during my healing journey, during the journey, I had to leave because each and every day there's a woman crying. There's a woman crying. I'm dealing with my own pain, and then when I open the group, it's pain. The other one is saying I did not sleep. The other one also me, and then we do not have a solution. There's no cure. There's nothing.
Sure.
We're pumping ourselves with painkillers. I said I overdosed. There's dangers of using painkillers. Some point, I was drinking painkillers every day and energy drinks
Yo.
because my body was tired each and every day.
Yeah,
If I hadn't had my dose, I could tell her. There's
so you were
something-
basically addicted to painkillers because you do get addicted.
And energy drinks. I took them. I didn't take the painkiller with water.
Sure.
I take it with the energy drink, and then I'm up again. I can feel I'm normal, but then around 7, 8, the fatigue comes back again.
Drop, yeah.
Yeah. So it did help a lot, but then at some point, for my own self, I left the group. I left the groups and everything. I decided, you know what, let me try something else. I started to read about endometriosis, and then there was some other brother who sent me PDF books on endometriosis. I read those books. I made time. I told myself, you know what? They're not giving me answers. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have to fight this thing because they're telling me there's no cure. It means I have this thing.
For the rest of your life.
Yes, until the last day. So I have to learn to live because I couldn't live like this. I have a business, like I used to be active and everything. Now I'm always
slowing
in
you
bed.
down.
Yeah, it was slowing me down, and people didn't understand. Even in the business, imagine Deko, we
Why me?
yo, ke ditafola, ke ditulo and everything, like, and you are in pain, and though you do have a team and everything, but then you need to help here and there. But then luckily for me, Shem, I have the best team. I have people who understand, and but then sometimes you'd feel like, yo, Lina, Erekisa, let me help them. So it was slowing me down. I had to learn about endometriosis. I learned about endometriosis myself. I told myself I'm going to read about this thing. I'm going to learn ways to cope, to live every day, because now there's danger at work. There was a time whereby I had a grace, during the lockdown. We're at home now. Then I felt I'm healed by then.
You're on
I
this
think
pill.
because during the lockdown there was a time where I didn't have pain and everything. I don't know, maybe it's because we were not too busy going to work and everything, but then remember during the lockdown they closed even the events. I'm not going to work, I'm not working, I'm not doing anything.
You are stealing, G.
Because normally now what they will tell you with endometriosis, they'll say rest. Rest. That's why I'm saying I appreciate my team, because I think without them I wouldn't even have a business because of the condition. So the condition steals a lot.
Sure.
I also go to schools. I speak to teachers. I speak to learners. So imagine a child who has to miss school each and every month because of period pain.
Yo.
So what I learned is that the injection, when they put me on, because now I'm talking about schools, I remember back then, when they put me on the injection, they're saying it's a hormonal problem. Endometriosis it's caused by hormonal imbalances and everything. So they were trying to control the hormones.
So which injection did they put you on?
Yo. Straight or what?
Oh,
It's
that's
brown-
prevention.
Yeah, the prevention.
Oh, hey, you're in the street, yo. I think.
Yeah, I don't know the right, but then something like that. And yeah, so they put me on that. But then my worry is that if they put me on that for so many years, why do they discover it at stage 4? It means though I did not feel the pain, the endometriosis was still building up. You get me? Because if there was something that it was doing, maybe they could have said to me, follow, it's on stage 1 or stage 2. And I would have appreciated that, because maybe by then I could even fall pregnant,
So we can look stage 4.
Go stage 4 already, and they tell me, there's no way you can fall pregnant, there's no way you can carry a baby. And then at some point they said to me, no, you have to remove the womb. And I said, I'll think about it. I think I was not ready.
Did you? Go?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not, because I don't want to lie, even with my doctor now, the way that we are so many, the way the doctor dealing with you, even now I'm struggling to get an appointment. If I call now, I'll get a date for next year.
So batho ba bangata ba bana le yone ntho e?
Bana le yona. And then I have this one I'm allowed to share about it, ne? Though I don't share names because I did tell my
Yeah,
sister
as long
I'm
as you're
going
not
for a
sharing
podcast.
names.
She said, Babo, it's about too, so I have another sister. I went to see her. She saw me, people will start posting about you and everything. She saw me on somebody else's status and then she recognized me at the funeral. We spoke, she has endometriosis. And then I'm gonna lose the weight. She's like, I've been on a soft diet for years. I can't even eat and everything. The situation was bad. And then by then I'm on Vicen, like, get homopaila. Like, though I'm not where I want to be, I still get the fatigue and everything. But I can say, I don't wanna lie, things are very much better. The day that I went to see her, she told me her story. Like, going back home, my heart, pelo yaka, like I
because
cried because,
know.
and I'm like, God, this house is so like you don't know what's happening. There's a lot happening, and there's a
People are
lot
going
of
through
us.
a lot.
Sometimes you get a call to say, Ausfollow, there's a child in church, come and see this one. There's a whole lot. And then this Vicen, do you get it like any other chronic condition? No, you pay for it.
Is it expensive?
520, 28
It's
pills.
expensive for an average person.
It is very, very expensive because the other one that I saw, she said to me, Ausfollow, I'm only getting 350.
And for that amount, how many pills do you get?
The
20.
box is 520.
And then how many are inside?
28.
Only.
So you can't get
That's
anything
expensive.
at 350.
That's very
So
expensive.
imagine somebody without an income. There's no one working at home. Apart from that, I spoke about heavy bleedings. If I have to take my 350, ke zole, or if it's like 520, where do I get the pads?
Yo. Now I don't know why pets are not free. I don't understand.
Where
Condoms
do I
are
get
free.
the pads?
Pets are not
Yeah,
free.
why are pets not free?
I don't understand.
And then we're sitting with such situations, and until you are faced with a situation or you go to visit someone whereby they're saying there's a child, at least you're not talking to them. Because when you are in that state, in that stage, I told you that many times I wanted to give up. You don't listen to anyone. Another one, let's pray. Yo. Eh, I can't even walk.
What do you mean? Do you
Like
know
at
how
that,
I feel?
At that time, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. You want me to pray like I'm in pain. What do you mean, rapper? Like, she said, follow, you'll come out. And when I went, and that's years back, when that lady came to pray for me, when I visited this one, that I said I
You
came
are
back,
saying let's pray.
I called her, I'm sitting alone. And I'm telling her, I remember your prayer. That's just years back. She's like, follow. And then when we start crying over the phone. And I'm like, I'm remembering your prayer because today I had to say to someone, let's pray. And then now it makes sense for me. But then when you are in pain, you'll do anything. That's why when they said to me, let's go to another doctor, I had my doctor. One would ask me, Mara, why no ya go Dr. Sika? There's Dr. A.
Maybe.
Yes, you'll do anything, you'll try anything. You talk about churches, I've been there. You talk about like I don't want to like I've been there because I tried everything to make my situation better, but it's a bit better. I've been everywhere.
Eish.
You talk about like I've been there, but then it doesn't get better. So how in that situation at that time?
Hopeless.
It's like the pain takes over everything. There's nothing you can think about. I can't even think about work. And then when I about a report, and then sometimes I snap, I'm in pain. I snap. Look, conflict. Sometimes I go to work in the morning. Around 1, I'm in pain.
What change?
And then people start feeling why one? And then at some point, it's even painful when it's women doing that. But then remember, not everybody's going to understand you.
Yes.
We need to understand that. And another thing that helped me is my boss at the time. He took me for counseling. He was a man. I sat down with him. I told him,
This is
I
what I'm
can't,
going
like,
through.
I'm going through. But then my work was also suffering because he had to speak to me and said, like, what's happening? Like, you're not performing, you're not producing, or like the way you support. And I told him, I'm sick. And then you're always taking sick leave. I'm sick, I'm in pain. Took me for counseling. The lady at counseling, I don't remember her name. I spoke about her in the book. I don't know her name. I don't remember. One of the symptoms, it's endometriosis, brain fog. We forget.
Yo.
I'll share the signs and symptoms, everything. And then I don't remember her name. She said to me, I told her, I'm in pain the week before periods. By then, I'm seeing this doctor who's helped me. My periods are manageable. It's before the Vicen. I feel pain before. I feel pain during the periods. I feel pain after. I have 1 week free. She said, Follow, learn to live in this week. I told her I'm in
1 week.
this week. I'm in anxiety of what's coming. Like when you know that your period is coming, already you are anxious. Already you are scared. I told her, like, I do not have a life anymore because I'm always scared.
Relationships, Nje, you can't have a normal
You
functioning
can
relationship.
have a normal relationship if you cannot even have somebody who understands. The other symptom is painful intercourse.
Yo.
Others, they are not going to understand. Like this year, August, I bled for 19 days. Others are going to are not going to understand.
Non-stop bleeding.
And very heavy. Very heavy. When I went to the hospital for my breast, to the hospital, when I stood up, everything was messed. It was very heavy. It was very, very heavy. 19 days.
I want you to talk to the people about whatever it is that you want to say in closing. I don't know, guys, if you're going to have another part. You talk to me on the comment section. She has a lot to say. You can hear she has a lot to educate on. And of course, if you're at home and you have you see symptoms like one that she mentioned at the beginning, you have to go see a doctor, unfortunately. Sometimes we fear what we don't know, but knowing and finding out can really help you. Imagine if you get it as it begins, And unfortunately for her, she found it at stage 4. Imagine how gruesome that must have been. So from me, I'm tapping out. Here's a book. She has a book, guys. Please tell them where they get the copy for this. Tell them everything about your book.
Okay, the book. Are you going to put my details there?
Yeah,
on
I
the
am.
screen?
Everything.
Yes. You can contact me on the details. She's going to put them there. And then I can get the book delivered to you, sent to you. And let me quickly share about the signs and symptoms of endometriosis. It will be the heavy bleedings. It will be so heavy. Sometimes you have to put 2 pads or more, depending. It's heavy. And then sometimes you bleed for many days. And then it will be the excruciating pain, the pain that does not go away even if you take painkillers. It will be painful bowel movements. Sometimes when you want to go to the bathroom, it's painful, and then there'll be constipation at other times. Other times there'll just be a diarrhea. I've had instances where diarrhea just comes out of nowhere, like it just comes, and then there'll be painful urination, whereby when you urinate just at the end, when you're about to finish, it's painful. That's painful intercourse. Another one, there's a brain fog, there's the leg pain. And then I said painful intercourse, there's the leg pain. And then there's the brain fog. I used to forget a lot of things. That one worries me so much with kids who have to learn, read, and go write exams, even with adults. Yeah, that's about it. And then if you need my book, you can check the details. Thank you so much.
So guys, if you want to write to us, like I said at the beginning, you're going to get my number on the screen right now, and it will be pasted on the description box as well. From your Tswanahan, I'll be tapping out.